What was the first thing you did this morning? Now, don't tell me I woke up. Tell me the first choice you made. Most of us think we are making choices, but we're actually just like running on default settings. You woke up because an alarm told you to. You checked your notifications because you could not resist the pull of that red dot on your phone. You drank the green juice or hit that 6 a.m. workout, not because you felt like your body needed it, but because the high performer starter pack you downloaded told you that's what winners are supposed to do. Now, we have become obsessed with this idea of the perfect routine. In Korea, they have this expression called god-saeng, living like a god, perfectly diligent, perfectly optimized. But let me ask you this. Isn't a perfect routine often just a very organized way of being on autopilot? Today, we're going to talk about why your discipline might actually be a cage and how to start living by design, not by default. Now, let's say that there's a person, and we'll call him Peter. He's the person we all look at and think, wow, how does he do it? He's the one who actually uses the Reminders app. His calendar isn't just full, it's like a mosaic. He's got the Aura Ring, the specialized morning light, the 15-minute reflection blocks on his calendar, and if there's a new habit that promises a 1% gain in efficiency, he's already done it 3 weeks ago. Now, suppose you run into him, right? And honestly, he's looking a little beaten down, exhausted, right? And it's not like the I've worked 14 hours today exhausted, but like a deeper, more hollowed kind of exhaustion. And say you're having coffee with him, right? And Peter, he keeps glancing at his watch. It's not like he had anywhere to go, but because his watch was literally telling him he was behind on his standing goal for the hour. So then you look at him and you say, so when was the last time you did something that wasn't actually on a list? And he just stares at you as though what does that even mean? He couldn't even remember. And that's the moment you realize Peter wasn't actually winning in life. He was just the world's best assistant to his own schedule. Now, what he built was this incredible system to support his goals, which is not a bad thing. But the system had become so heavy, he spent most of his energy just maintaining that system. It's like you're running 100 miles per hour, but you're on a treadmill. So where exactly are you going, right? You feel the speed, you feel the sweat and the impact to your joints, but you're not really going anywhere. We do this because we feel safe. If we follow the standard success routine and we fail, we can say, well, hey, I did everything right, I followed the script. But if we deviate, right, if we sleep in until 9 a.m. because our brain needs the cycle to plow through the deadline, and then we fail, it's on us, right? The default setting is a shield, but it's also a ceiling. And think about why we love the ceiling, right? It protects us from the weather, right? It's so comfortable, it's so cozy, but there's also a problem with the ceiling. You know what it is? You can't see the stars. You've traded your agency for certainty, right? When you follow a preset routine, you're not an architect. You're just a tenant in someone else's building. Think about that. And the rent you're paying, that's your own intuition, right? We've become so afraid of making a bad choice that we've stopped making any choices at all. We just let the algorithm of success choose for us, right? And in strategy, we talk about friction a lot. And usually, friction is the enemy. It slows things down, but in human life, right? Zero friction is a disaster. Think about that. If your day is so optimized that you never have a wasted conversation with a stranger, you never take a wrong turn, and you never have a morning where you just kind of stare at the ceiling for 20 minutes and just space out, you have effectively deleted luck from your life. I'll say this. Most of the biggest breakthroughs in my career didn't come from a scheduled deep work block. They came from the glitches. They came from spending 10 minutes with talking to someone I actually didn't think I had anything in common with, only to realize that they held the missing piece of a puzzle I'd been trying to solve for months. Now, when you live by default, you filter out the noise. But as any good analyst will tell you, sometimes a signal is actually hidden in the noise. If your life is too sterile, nothing new is going to grow. You're just a machine repeating a very expressive, very expensive loop. And I see this all the time with high-performing professionals. They've got the best gear, the best coaches, the most streamlined workflows. They're essentially perfectly optimized for a world that no longer exists for them. Now, while they were perfecting their 5 a.m. meditation, the market shifted. Their industry changed, but they didn't notice because their routine didn't leave any room for peripheral vision. You are too busy looking at your dashboard to notice you were actually driving off a cliff. Excellence without awareness is not a virtue. It's more like a high-speed mistake, right? So, okay, how do we fix this? Well, the answer isn't for you guys to be lazy. I'm not telling you to throw away your alarm clock and live in chaos. I'm actually telling you to audit your defaults. Look at your routine and ask, did I choose this or was this like pre-installed for me? Now, for instance, there's the social default, like that networking event, right? Are you going because you actually want to meet those people or because you're afraid that if you don't show face, you'll disappear? There's also the consumption default. Are you reading that must-read book because it really helps you or because it's like the book everyone else in your circle's reading? Then there's the energy default. Are you a morning person or are you just a night owl who's been like bullied by the internet into thinking that 5 a.m. is the only time you can be successful? Now, the most powerful people I know are actually pretty messy in specific areas. They're super disciplined about their output, but they're also incredibly flexible about the process. So they care less about looking like a high performer than actually performing high. So what does that look like, right? Maybe something like the founder who hasn't actually cleaned their inbox in a few years because they were too busy talking to potential customers. Or it could be that strategist who spends 4 hours a day just like walking in the woods without a podcast in their ears. It's the wonderful, unproductive time that actually makes the productive possible. And they understand that you don't really find the breakthrough by like staring harder at the problem. You find it by looking away and letting the pieces fall into place. So, challenge for you this week. I want you to intentionally break your routine once a day. Just one small thing. Take a different route home. Maybe eat lunch without a screen in front of you. Say no to a meeting that could have been an email, even if it makes you feel a little bit unproductive for an hour. And then watch what happens in the gap. You might feel this surge of anxiety, right? That's probably like the default settings trying to like reassert their control. But you gotta lean into it. Because in that anxiety, you're gonna find your actual pulse. It's a good reminder that you're a human being with the power to pivot, not just a line or code in someone else's algorithm. Your life is not a checklist to be completed. Think of it instead as like a series of strategic maneuvers to be executed. Stop checking the boxes and start checking your direction. See you in the next one.